In March of 1982, I was taking our 70-footer up to Alaska to buy herring, and I stopped in at the cannery at Namu halfway up the Inside Passage. That's the place where the famous whale came from, but that's a different story. But that March, Namu was alive. The British Columbia coastal herring fishery was in full swing. There were like 30 boats at the dock. There was steam coming out of every pipe in the cannery. It was just an alive place. Sadly, that has all changed. But in the 20s and 30s and 40s, this part of the BC coast was just alive. For instance, Rivers Inlet, further south, had 7 or 8 canneries there, and here's the way it worked. Every spring, people would come from Vancouver, Victoria, native villages. They would come by steamer. They would come by sailboat. Sometimes from the closer native villages, they would even row to work for these canneries. And this whole inlet would be alive. There was hundreds of gillnet boats, and this was the schedule. Before 1925, it was all sail and row. So every Sunday afternoon, this tugboat would leave each cannery, and it would tow 20, 30, 40 sailboats out behind it, and it would go down the inlet, and everyone had their favorite place they wanted to fish, and they'd drop off the boats along the way, and they'd stay out there for a whole week. Usually 2 guys in each boat, and once a day the fish buying boat would come around, pick up the fish, give the guys water, sell them some groceries if they needed it. Then on Friday afternoon, they would tow everyone back into the cannery. The guys would get a chance to clean up. There'd be a dance Saturday night in the net loft. They'd kick up their heels. This was the coastal tradition that went on for generations. Unfortunately, for reasons that even biologists don't fully understand. I mean, part of it was careless logging, part of it was poor fisheries management. Those fish runs have disappeared, and that whole coastal way of life is gone, maybe forever.